Santi Grassi, because you have the OLY is Olympian, right? That's always the
Right.
Olympian thing. Yep.
Yes.
Cool. That's wow. Okay. Uh, good stuff. All right. Good. Welcome to another episode of the Get Out Swim podcast. I'm your host, Seamus T. Quinn. This is my co-host, João Mescalote, and today we're joined by a Olympian, an Argentinian national swimmer. Today's guest is Santi Grassi. Santi, thanks for hopping on.
No, thank you guys for inviting me. Happy to be here today.
Yeah, great. So we already have two ASP members on here, Zhao. I interviewed Sean probably a month ago now. That podcast is out. And then yesterday we interviewed Marina Spadoni. So you're now the third ASP member to be on the podcast, and we got to keep this thing rolling. So
Nice.
so we're excited and good. So Santi, you have been sort of a lifelong swimmer. It seems you kind of grew up swimming in Argentina. Is that correct?
Yes. I grew up in Argentina. I was there until I was like 20, almost 20.
Okay, so you went from swimming in Argentina to then swimming at Auburn, and then transitioning professional, and still competing professional now at ASP, and so you've really kind of had a lifeline of swimming and competitive swimming, which I'm excited to get into. So let's start with talk to us about your background. Like, how did you get into swimming growing up in Argentina, and what was the Argentina like swimming landscape like? Because obviously coming from US, I was coming from Brazil, it's a little different. So we want to know about how that kind of landscape looked like as well.
So in Argentina, it's mostly clubs. Nothing is how would I say, related to schools. You don't participate between. You don't have competitions between in schools. When you go to school, you don't really do swimming. I learned swimming at a club, and the reason why was because back then my swim club, they were promoting a special deal that if you sign up your kid, you have a discount for the rest of the year. And I was 6 years old at the moment. I already tried soccer because everyone in Argentina plays soccer at some point, basketball, and at 6, my parents were like, "All right, let's see if you guys let's see if you guys like it." They ask us, "You guys want to go to swim team?" And we say yes. 3 siblings at the moment. I was the middle one, and we all kind of like passed and stay at the club, and that's how I started. From 6 to 10, I can say that I did not like it. I like, swimming it's a total different sport compared to anything else. When I had to wake up. Well, back then when I was very, very young, I remember I was just like, I couldn't play with my friends after school. They would be like, "Hey, let's get together at my place," and I'll be like, "I have practice." So I remember that time in my life, a lot of struggle. To my parents being like, "I don't want to go to practice today. I want to do this. I want to do that." So I was very close at 10 from stop swimming. Almost stopped. My parents were like, "All right, that's it." I was going to play rugby. I talked with the coach. I talked with my parents. Everyone would agree that I was going to stop swimming. I just had to go to this last meet. That was at my club pool. And I swam a 50 freestyle. I remember I won the heat. I was happy about it. And I was like, I'm not going to stop swimming. I'll keep swimming. And how funny, because after that, everything that happened, that it would have been a totally different story if that race would have gone different. But yeah, I started very, very young. I had 2 different coaches. My first one from 6 to 13, and then the second one from 13 to I went to college. I was around 20, I think. And it's totally different than the US. It's not as, I mean, here you have sectional regionals, and you have WACs, winter age group, summer age group, then you have nationals. If you are part of your high school, they might have a swim team, so you might do varsity swim. Or if you're not, just go to the club. But then in the clubs, you have a lot of meets. In Argentina, I remember it's just like 2 meets in the year, summer nationals and winter nationals, age groups. And that's basically everything that we trained for. Even though we had little meets throughout the year, there were very little at very, like, we don't have the facilities that we have here in the US. So it's like you would race at a really nice pool twice a year, and then everything else was like more like just training.
Mm.
And I remember, yeah, once I started racing, like when I was 14, I started racing in like here is US Open. Like I started to race against the big guys, and that became a little bit more was a little more entertaining. I would have 4 meets a year instead of only 2. But yeah, it just happened because parents were like, "Hey guys, like we like fishing. We're surrounded by a river. You guys need to learn how to swim. Let's go to the pool. Let's learn you. Let's see how you do." And from there, I guess my whole family, we had a good national talent for the water. My sister was South American champion when she was young. My brother following me. He was a national champion in his age as well. So all 3 of us were pretty good at swimming. And after high school, they went to study, and I was like the one that stubborn enough to be like, okay, I'm just gonna make something out of this sport.
Yeah. What did you like about swimming as you started going through in Argentina, when you started reaching the bigger level, the higher level? Like what was, working for you? What were you enjoying?
I can say that it's not training. It's never been. It was racing. I like competing. I'm a very competitive person. I enjoy having a talent, and then go to swim meets and see if I can get better at it and qualify for more meets, and then be national champion. It was very motivating for me to the competing part. I don't swim for training. I would say now I am enjoying it a lot more with ASP. Training has become a very, very, very enjoyable thing to do. I have fun when I go to practice, different to when I grew up. But I always looked forward to racing. It was like the idea is like, okay, there's this meet. We have Mococa this year. Like, all right, let's qualify for it. We got South American games. We have Youth Olympic games, and it's just like looking. Always, I remember just looking to what meet do we have this year? All right, let's try to qualify for it. And the idea, like it's an individual sport. I like playing handball. I play handball in high school, and I love the team sport of it. But I always liked swimming because I knew and I understood that no one could mess it up for me. The idea was like, if I train well, if I do my work, and if I do everything that I need to, it's on me. And just because someone else had a bad day, it's not going to affect how I do. So in that idea, I was always pretty excited about everything is under my control. I can, if I put in the work, I'm going to be doing well here because no one else can mess it up for me. As if you play soccer and, anything, 11 players.
You're dependent on other people. Yeah.
Yep.
Being now that you've been in the US for a while, and I know you've ran clinics, you've been all over the country, you're familiarized a little more with the club system here. What are some of the biggest differences that, looking back, you see like, oh wow, we used to do this way different in Argentina? And what are some of the things that you noticed the most?
Well, as soon as I came here, was the dryland. Dryland is super different here in the US. I feel like here you guys do dryland, and in Argentina we should swim. We just swim. Oh, get there to the pool. Let's get in the water. We don't do any type of dryland. So that, to begin with, in the training part is very different. I think kids overall here are better in terms of like the dryland, how well they move, how strong they are with their core underwaters, and that thing comes from a very good part in dryland. Flexibility as well. I think the club swimming that I grew up was like practices at 3:30. I show up at 3:20 to put my swim cap and goggles and jump in the water and be not even like swinging a couple times the arms. There was no part of that. And after that, same, it's like 2 hours of swimming, and then we go home.
Just swimming.
Yeah, it's just a lot of just swimming. Then I would say like I mentioned earlier, the competition, the system for competition is totally different. I feel like kids, I am very much involved right now with a lot of swimmers, and they have meets every 2 weeks, every 2 weekends, and the meets that they go to are very competitive. They see kids that are actually also very good as well. So especially here in California, California has a great swimming community. They're very fast kids in all the ages. So you are exposed to a lot more competition more often, and I think that's also part of what allows you to keep growing. I also say Argentina is good at soccer because everyone plays soccer. When you have a lot of people playing the same sport, it becomes more competitive, and that's where you get better at. I don't think Argentina has swimming is that popular. We don't have that many kids. Maybe the best swimmers, they are not swimming because they haven't found the sport. And what I realized here in the United States, like kids swim because of school sometimes. They don't want to swim, but they start swimming because of school. Like I work at a school here, they have swimming and water polo together. Some of these kids play water polo, but to be on the water polo team, they have to do the swimming season in the spring. And some of these kids are good swimmers. So they're realizing now, oh, I also can swim. Maybe I can go to college for swimming. And how many swimmers college have seen that they come into college and then they become Olympians? I mean, my roommate, Zach Apple, was one of those. I think he was a walk-on in college. And then in his sophomore year, he broke 19 seconds in the 50 free. And then senior year, he was in the Olympics. So I do believe that system allows kids here in the United States to race more, to train against better kids, and it makes them better. The clubs are bigger here. I gotta say that clubs are bigger here. I don't know if that's for better, because I understand that there is like sometimes just one coach training a lot of kids, and for swimming that's not the best. So maybe in Argentina, since clubs were not that big, I think we have 20 kids in my club, in my group, but I see clubs here with 60, 50. That's a lot more. So yeah, definitely different things in club here and there, but the most important was like not just how we train in the water. I train a lot with volume. I don't know exactly how they are doing it everywhere here, but the dryland part is huge coming in here, and how often they race.
As far as the culture for like specialization, and I asked that because I know this is a big difference compared to Brazil. I remember becoming a sprinter pretty early on, right? Like I was a 50, 100 freestyler when I was 13, and that's it, and that's how I made my career. And you see kids here in the US, they don't end up picking a race or like their main 2-3 events until they're like 15, 16, maybe even like later than that. Was that something that you picked early on? Like you were always a flyer and just kind of stuck with it?
Yes, and I think it kind of comes with my personality. One thing that I enjoy is that I felt that I was in control. The coach never told me what to swim at a swim meet. In terms of like, in college I saw a lot of 200 butterflies that I would have rather done the 50 free. But that was different in college. Growing up, I remember that my first meet, it was like, okay, all 450 strokes. Good. The second meet was like, all right, let's get rid of backstroke and breaststroke because I don't like them. I'm not good at them. So I stay with free and fly. I did 2-3 more years of free and fly. And then at some point I got rid of freestyle and it was just butterfly. I think from 14 to 20 in Argentina, I only swam butterfly, the 50, 100, 200 butterfly. Maybe the 200 was more of my coach thing. I don't think I would have ever chosen to do that 200 butterfly. But part of it is like I'm doing these events because I want to. I am here for me. Like I'm not here because coach. I never felt like coach would put me there, and that's also why I think it's important for swimmers to. I understand it depends on the swimmer, I guess. If you're a swimmer that doesn't have the awareness and you're just there floating around, the coach has to tell you, hey, listen, we're going to do this, this, and this. Maybe that swimmer still hasn't found out what event he's the best at, and they need some guidance from coach. But it would be awesome if I liked being a young kid, a young swimmer, feeling like I'm not being told what to do here. I am here because I chose to, and I am swimming these events because these are my best events and I want to do well here.
Mm.
I would say at my club, most of the kids would choose what they wanted to swim. Um, I never there's races I never swam. 200 breaststroke, 200 freestyle short course yards, the 1500 mile, never done it. Never done it. 100 backstroke race, I think once in my life. 100 breaststroke once in my life. Like there's so many races that I never swam in my life. So
That's so funny because I was actually doing a clinic a couple months ago, and yeah, and tying into that question, like kids here are so used to doing all of the events, and the coach just puts them in whatever event. Which I usually say it's like there's the pros and cons of that. Like I wish I had done maybe a couple of other events and figure it out a little more, but at the same time, no, I don't. Like I'm a sprinter, and luckily, like I found that pretty early. But a kid asked me what was my 200 fly time, and I was like, oh, I never done that. And like it was like speaking Japanese to them. They're like, what do you mean you never done that? I'm like, I've just never done it. They're like, you're an old athlete. Like you never done a 200 fly. I'm like, no, never done the 200 fly. Never done the 400 IM. Never done the mile. And they're like perplexed. They're like, they couldn't grasp that, and they're like, my coach makes us do everything. And I'm like, yeah, mine didn't.
I would make them do it from a challenge standpoint. Like, let's see, like maybe you're good at it, but not from the like, hey, you're gonna swim this because we're still figuring. Like, not to put it on the swimmer, but try to like encourage him to do it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you see that they have the neck for it, like, okay, like you're a flyer, you're doing well in the 100. Let's see what's up with the 200. But yeah, no, I just feel like, I mean, I've coached all over the US and I've been exposed to different like clubs as well. I've seen coaches being like, well, there's, out of the events here on the Saturday morning lineup, I think, you do the 100 back all the time. Let's just do the 2 fly on this one. And I'm like, why is that like that? Like sometimes like that kind of like scares kids away from the sport, right? And I know that it might be a little different in Argentina because so I know you qualified for your first Olympics before college, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, were you always like, growing up, were you always like, I want to be a pro swimmer. This is what I want to do. Like, I want to, follow that Olympic route, or it just kind of happened, like you said, like you're picking the next meet and like, how do I qualify for that?
Yes, and I would say, unfortunately, it happened like that. Unfortunately, because I can't say there was a dream of mine growing up saying I want to be an Olympic athlete. I want to be an Olympic swimmer. And I think that has a lot of power in a kid, growing up, chasing a dream, chasing a goal. I don't know. I think, and I'll explain this now with how it's in the US, but I think there's a huge difference when you grow up seeing people that are doing or have done what you want to do. I didn't grow up with a lot of Olympians around me. There's only one Olympian in open water. She went in 2008. So I think that already opened a door for me to be like, wow, she trains here. She went to the Olympics. I can also do it. So that opened the door. But my thinking about the Olympics was like, the Olympics is hard. The Olympics is something that you're going to be really good at. So I never really thought, especially, I remember I didn't even watch London. I was so young. I was not interested in London. So there was never a thought in like next Olympics, I'm going to be there. In 2014, I was 54 seconds. And in 2016, I was 52.0. So in that very short amount of time, when I was 16 to 18 or 17 to 19, I was able to drop a lot of time. But it didn't come from like, we're training for the Olympics. I was just like, I think I should finish high school. I had more time to rest. I was starting to get older. I would get more muscle. I would start to understand a little bit better what swimming was like. And as a consequence, I got really fast and I qualified for the Olympics. But it wasn't like, I wish it would have been a dream, because I think I would have kept going, not just like, oh, okay, I'm training just to qualify for the Olympics. This is it. It just felt like a very big accomplishment. And then I go to the Olympics and I feel disappointed because, you went to the Olympics, but that's you're not better than anyone. Like, it's just, you surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do, and it opens your mind. Like my roommate for college from college in Auburn, he was 8th. He was finally in the Olympics in Tokyo. Finalist. So then the mind starts to change and be like, okay, now if he did it and I've seen his process and I know he's not superhuman, then I can also do it. And what I was saying is, like, I like the US because in the US there's so many Olympians, and not just Olympians that won medals. What is the US swimmer say when they get in the national team? If I go in the national team and I don't bring a medal, I really didn't do well. Like, it's the idea is like, if I'm on the national team, I'm bringing medals. And that's something that I think it's a culture thing that they have worked on it for many, many years now, that you know that if you are as fast as to be on the national team, you are as fast as to get a medal. But and then the kids growing up, they go to a clinic, they meet Olympians, they go to a swim meet, they meet Olympians, and they're surrounded by Olympians. So if you see them so much, why can you not think that I can also do it? And that's how Argentina is good in soccer, because we have so many people that play soccer and so many that have gone really well. So kids grow up thinking, I want to be Messi, because they know that you just need to go and kick the ball and then work on it. Well, but because you've seen it, and you can feel it, you can imagine yourself there. In swimming is different. In swimming, no one has showed us yet in Argentina that anyone can get that everyone can do it in a way that, it's possible. Because
so you finished high school. How long was that until you made the first Olympic
I finished
team?
high school in 2014, December 2014.
Okay.
And I remember I didn't go to college. I was trying to figure it out what to go for in college for, like in Argentina.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't do anything all 2015. I remember just training. That's when 2015 was my big year. Actually, that's when I went to Pan American Games. That's when I medal at Pan American Games. That's when Auburn reaches out to me saying, "Hey, like, would you like to go to college?" That's when I qualified for the Olympics in 2015. So
was there any funding from Argentinian Federation or any sort of sponsor, or were you just kind of like trying to figure it out and like, oh yeah, we'll see?
I had my biggest sponsor, my dad. Most of the time, I had sponsors in Argentina, swimming brands that have given me suits, goggles, all this swimming equipment. I had that. Then there was a year towards 2016, the Olympics, yes, that we did a big project with other 3 athletes from Santa Fe. A pole vaulter, is that how you say?
Yeah, pole vaulter.
In the water, canopy. No, it's not canopy. It's
rowing.
Yeah, rowing. Choose K1 rowing. So we were 3 Olympians going to Rio, and then we all 3 made like a huge project, which reached out to different companies, and we had for a year a very, very good amount of money coming in, and I am very glad because that's what I used for then to go to college. So that was probably my best year as a swimmer, feeling professional in Argentina. Government, we have financial money coming from the government. It's not enough for this athlete to become a professional in what they do. I just think it helps a little bit. So yes, there were things for me. There was a system. It just didn't happen because because of me. There was a system. I was part of the generation in swimming that they started to do swim camps in Argentina. They started to take us to different parts of the country to train together. So they started to pay for meets. Like, we went to Youth Olympic Games. We went to Junior Worlds, training camps in Mexico. So there was a lot of funding, I would say, for my generation, especially for when I grew up in my swimming career.
So then you decide to go to Auburn. You show up in Auburn, Alabama. How was that? How was that?
It was surreal because I didn't take a recruiting trip. I just committed. I never went to the US to see the college. I didn't know what was expecting me. I just knew that it was going to be better.
Me neither. That was the same process.
Yeah. Like, I know I had Sergio Lopez. He spoke Spanish. And I had Luis Martinez. This is the guy that made the final in the 100 fly. And he was my roommate after all. So having those 2 guys speaking Spanish to me, it was huge. That's most of the reason, the biggest reason why I committed to Auburn. I had an option to go Louisville, Alabama, and FSU. And at the end of the day, I chose Auburn because of that Spanish connection. Correct? Yeah. I remember they picked me up at the airport. It was night. It was late at night when I arrived on campus. So, I couldn't really see much. They dropped me at the hotel. And I remember the captains picked me up the next day, being like, hey, we need to go get you the bank account, open your phone line, the classic, take me to a good restaurant there. I just felt like I was in a movie. Everything felt like in a movie. The team was insane. Showing up to that pool, especially Auburn pool, is beautiful. And showing up to that pool.
2016 was a good team as well, right?
Yeah,
it was right after the Olympics.
Right after the Olympics, yeah. Well, I got there in January 17, but yes.
Oh, okay.
It was a good team. Team. And yeah, just seeing so many people. I remember my first practice got my ass handled. And and it was tough. And I would be like, and I remember like we had 30-50s. I did 30-50s fly. And I just remember dying, being like, I can't make this. And I had people in next lanes being like, let's go, Auburn, let's do it. We got this. She's screaming out of the lungs. I was like, dude, what is this? Like, I never seen this before. Why are they screaming at me? Why are they saying, hey, let's go to me? Like it just felt weird, but felt awesome at the same time. I did not understood much of what was happening in terms of the language. For me, understanding, like I could read very well. College, I never had problems. I never failed a class. I could read very well. The comprehension part was good. The listening, it was all right. You have to talk slow to me, but the speaking, it took me a year for people to actually understand what I was saying and for me to not repeat myself. So it was a big journey in that way, but I loved it. I would wake up and I'd be in class and be like, I don't know what they're saying right now, but I'm in college. This is crazy. Like, I'm like, this is like the movies. And I will figure it out soon enough, like what they're saying. I have a PowerPoint. I will read it later, but I was very happy with my experience. I never at any point, I know I have people that say like, they feel like homesick and they wanted to go home. No, I loved it. I loved the independency that came with it. I love the every aspect. I really felt like a swimmer. I felt like also, this is what swimming actually feels like, to train swimming. Like the drivings that we did in college, the practices, every day was hard. Training with a team, I found out, okay, this is what this is the team part of swimming. Like, this training, the idea of like, they always say like training for something bigger than yourself, representing a team, not your name, but the college. So there was a lot of really good moments. I had a really good time in terms of like what I found out when I came to college. I had no idea what it was going to be, but I really, really liked it.
What did you think of like the whole NCAA system? Was that something that you were already like kind of familiarized with, or you only started to think about when Ozzy messaged you and offered you? Was it Ozzy?
Yeah.
Sorry, was it Sergio?
It was Ozzy. Ozzy was the one offering me in Toronto the idea to come to college. But by the time that I went there, Ozzy wasn't there anymore. He was in FSU.
Okay.
No, I had no idea about the system. I didn't know that, for example, the pools were shorter. I didn't know that it's 25 yards instead of meters. I didn't know we had conference and then nationals. No,
you didn't know at all. You just showed up and
I didn't know anything.
There's no other like elite Argentinian people coming to college here that could help you.
I was the first one after like 10 years. There was two guys that went to D1, one in Alabama, one in Arizona. Olympians. One of them, she helped me throughout the process. Maybe I had a notion of 25 yards, but I just didn't know even what that meant.
Yeah.
From a comment of her. But in my years prior to me, no one has gone to college in the US. So for me, it was like a big thing. I mean, one of my biggest moments was when I told my coach, "Hey, I got a proposition to go to college in the U.S." And I was so excited. Like, I just felt like a kid recruited to play in the NBA, you know. And my coach was like, "Huh, yeah, but you know that everyone that goes there, they don't get better. They're not get faster." And I just my personality, I really got upset, being like, I'm not everyone to begin with. I don't care what they did. I don't even know them. I was just like, please just be happy for me. And unfortunately, I had to leave Argentina not on best terms at that moment. I felt like I wasn't. He didn't get excited for me. Let's put it that way.
Is that a common theme in Argentina? Because I know some countries are very adverse for athletes to come to the U.S. I think Brazil was kind of the same way when I came in 2014. I think we only had 10 male athletes in Division I. And I think people started realizing, like, I can still go get my degree, you know, have this awesome NCAA experience. And when I'm done, I'm still 21. I can still swim back in Brazil or, you know, like professionally. And I'm still like, you know, at, you know, a good.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's not the system. It's not the way. It's not the journey that they're showing you here. I had no idea that there was a thing here in the United States, a system. It just depends on the coach, but I would say yes. It's not on the like hey, let's train, and once you get the age, let's see if you can go to college to the United States, because that's really the best way for you to get the most out of it. And then after that, it's if you want to keep swimming, you can come back, you can stay there. But I think, I don't know, I feel like the idea of them, like, I created this swimmer and now I have to give it away, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit maybe.
Well, but what happens to an Argentinian kid when they turn 18, they finish high school, and then they go to college? What happens then?
That's the thing. You don't
swimming?
Right. It's either you quit swimming to go to college, or you stay swimming and you try to do college.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. And in my family, you have 3 guys that swam. 2 of them, they stopped to go to college.
Yeah.
And me was the guy that stayed swimming, and I was like, let me see if I can do college at the same time. And I did a year and a half without 2 years without studying here in Argentina, and then ended up in college in the United States. The thing is, the system is not the idea. Like in college, I would go talk with the professors and be like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm on the swim team. Sometimes during the year, I'm going to be out for swim competition, but I'll let you know. I want you to meet me. I'll always play the card like I don't speak good English, so I just want to know if you have any questions. I'll be that kid. But then I never had problems. Like I'll miss my exams. Professor will be like, yeah, just come over later, get in my office, just sit down, do the exam. That doesn't happen in Argentina. You missed the exam, We're well behind now. We need to do it next year, you know? Yeah. So that's what the United States has. And the idea of like you feel proud of being a student athlete, because you know that yes, teachers have a little special treat with you in the idea that they know you also training, and they know that they give you a little more flexibility.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what we need. I never had problems with college, other than I won't be there for an exam this weekend. When can we do it again?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit. Oh, sorry. You can go, Seamus.
I was going to ask, like, what do you think you learned the most at Auburn? Like, just being in that new training environment, that new stimulus, and that transition. What were you taking in as a full-time swimmer that you really like relished in?
The first thing that comes to my mind from my college experience is that I am capable of doing and learning anything. For both things. The college part of it, I didn't speak English, and I walk out of there with 2 degrees. And I mean, like, I did it because I needed to do it in order to stay on the swim team. But I could have learned anything that you put in front of me. I'll learn it, and I'll take a test on it. And that that kind of like fed my idea of like, okay, I am capable of whatever it is that I gotta learn. I can do it. I've done it in college. I didn't love it. I don't like to study. I'm not the person that can study for long periods of time, but I have the skills to get away, be able to do it, to go through it. And then the idea of same thing on the pool. The practices that we've done with the college team were insane, some of them. Sometimes I felt like we were just training to be Navy SEALs more than swimming, college swimmers. Going up and down stadiums, med balls over your head, planks, jumps, squat pyramids, so many things. And when you are surrounded with other 50 kids your age and, they're all doing it, no one is complaining, you see what the power of just like the environment that you're in. And that allows me to be like, I am also an animal in terms of like, I can do things, I can do the conditioning part of it in a way that no other humans can. And this is not just swimming. This is just like going to practice in the morning, going to college, going back to the gym, going back to college. So now that I'm older, I'm not doing all that. I'm like, just try to optimize, like think about how much more efficient I can be. Before I was doing that much, now doing less is not that I'm not preparing myself enough, it's that I'm also giving myself the time to rest and I kind of like balance it out. It's not a lot about quantity, it's more also the quality part. I don't think I have much quality in college just because of the volume. But yeah, the two things that I think I got out of my college experience was that idea of myself that I can get through anything in terms of the learning environment for whatever it's I need to learn, or for the physical environment. College was that.
I know you mentioned the 50s fly and kind of being yelled at and screamed at in that environment, but are there any other examples that you can think of that were big breakthroughs for you, like, or practices or moments where you were like, oh, I can do anything. If I did this, I can do anything?
Yes, I have both of them. The ones that I can do anything, and the ones that I'm like, this is not worth it. Definitely both of them. Right now, the ones that this is not worth it, I have a couple of them that come to my head first. I had panic attacks in practice. I've been having panic attacks. Like we had this set 3100s best average every Monday morning. I hated it. My Sunday was ruined. When I woke up, it was ruined when I went to bed. It was ruined Monday morning when I wake up. It was in my head. So of course, by the time I get to the pool and we start the warm up, I couldn't breathe. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. So one time it happened. I was just like, just in my head for the set. But I have sets, for example, that Sergio will be like, hey, just go to the locker room. That's it for today. That moment that like, hey, let's call it. This is not worth it right now. You're not getting anything out of it. I would say the ones that I felt I could do anything were a lot of breath holdings. We did a lot of breath holdings. Those that the first two, you feel like you're actually going to pass out. And then you realize, okay, I just need to calm down. And one at a time. The amount of times that I told myself one at a time in practice, imagine every Monday morning, just one at a time, just going to get through this. I guess, even though I had moments that I was like, this is just not worth it. I'm in pain or very specific reasons. Most of my practices, I would look at them in the paper and the first thought is like, oof, dude, this is going to be rough.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the practice, every single day, I was like, wow, it wasn't that bad. And I think next time I do it, I can do better. So it was on a daily basis, that constant thought. I was like, dude, we had 3100s this morning. Now we're going to do power. Then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to go to the gym. Then we're going to do explosive things again. And then Wednesday morning, it's supposed to be easy, but we're going to be kicking. And in the afternoon, we're going to do aerobic. For Thursday, swimming fast again. And it was like every day is like, it cannot get worse than today. And it did get worse. until you get to Saturday. That is finally it's the last practice, but Saturday is the last, and it's the hardest as well because you have driving for an hour and a half, and then you go to swim for 2 hours. So no, I would say on a daily basis, I would experience that idea. I was like, wow, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
And if we did that, we can just do anything.
Yeah.
What was it like? So I know, like, qualifying for your second Olympics, I know there's a little story about you training by yourself, or how, because it was right at the end of COVID, right? Like, how did that work out?
Well, I think it's my class, the 2020 class, we didn't have NCAA that year. We were actually training. I remember we were like 2 weeks out. We were training. They pull us out of the water and be like, guys, NCAA got canceled, school got closed, everything. Like, something's happening right now. We have a big deal, but this is it. Thank you, seniors. Thank you for everything you've done. And this was it. Let's do our 50 fast off the blocks and then goodbye. Like that. Wow. And I remember just crying when my guy was just like, yeah, it's just 50. And be like, I can't believe that this is over. Like, I still had things to get done in my college career in that last NCAA. And yeah, our class wasn't offered an extra year. We were the ones that didn't get to go through it, but we didn't get an extra year. And it's so funny because I saw kids that were a year younger than me, and I swear that they're still in college right now. One of them, I graduated in 2020. One of them, for example, is Luke Orlando. He was a freshman in my senior year, I think. And I graduated in 2020. And the kid's still in college. I'm like, between pandemic year, red flag years, these guys have gotten a lot. Our class didn't get nothing. So unfortunately, that year it was rough because we were not part of the team. And because we're not part of the team, COVID, they didn't let us train with the team. So for the first 4 months, we didn't even have a pool. Then we started swimming in a pool on our own. It was 3 of us, Luis, Julie, and me. It was 3 of us training for the Olympics, already qualified. And we started training on our own. We had a coach that sometimes would come and try to train us, but it was very lonely journey for us, feeling like this is the Olympics, you know? We didn't have the structure that we had 3 years before that, or at least the structure that allowed us to get to qualifying for the Olympics. We were all 3 of us. I mean, Luis did fantastic, phenomenal. But I think for Julie and I, the way that we got to the Olympics was not this, like, for the first, like, 2020. The way that we qualified for the Olympics wasn't the same way that we prepared for the Olympics.
So you qualified before. So you already
qualified
knew
in 2019.
Got it.
I qualified in 2019 in Pan American Games.
And then, so it was just a matter of the training. Okay, I got it.
Right. Then we were training. Like, imagine 2020 in March. We were going to have NCAAs. After NCAAs, we're going to come back. We're going to keep training for 2 more months for the Olympics. And then it's like, no, we stopped swimming for 4 months. In September of that year, we go back to swimming maybe 30 minutes a day. In January of 2021 is when we started racing again. And that's when we started maybe training in long course again. But it wasn't in the same environment that we did before. It wasn't with the coaches were more like doing a favor to us. That's what it felt like. Great coaches, but they were like doing a favor to us by being on pool deck. It wasn't like they were committed to what we were committed to. So it was different. They had their college job, and that was their job. Training us wasn't their job, and that's where I have a very bittersweet taste with Auburn. That last year for us wasn't. They didn't handle the situation right with the people that finished college, but they still got the Olympics in front of them. You know, it was a big deal for us. So yeah, it was kind of like a mix. Train on our own with coaches. They send us the plans, but we train on our own. I went to Paris. I would say that I did well, but I was never able to feel like I had the Olympics of my life. Like, that going best times at the Olympics, I still didn't do that. I think Paris was even better for me because Paris, I was training on my own. That's when I started training and changing the method of training that I was using. I was training on my own, doing just 45 1-hour sessions, Monday through Friday. I wasn't even doing 6 sessions a week, just 4 or 5 on my own. Brett would help me out. He would sometimes come to the pool and watch me. Sometimes I would go to the pool and he with him. But yeah, I was just planning my own workouts, and that like that I got 0.1 from the cut to go to the Olympics. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty good. Like, if I can do that same training with a team and more time, I can do anything, because I only did it for 5 months for Paris last year.
So from 2021 until 2024, did you take a break completely, or you kind of got back to those 4 or 5 sessions like a year before? What was the timeline there?
So 2021 Olympics, September, come back. Then I had Worlds, short course Worlds in Abu Dhabi at the end of 2021. That's when I realized I'm not into it this now right now. Like, I have myself, I know myself, like I have a moment that I don't care about it. And when I don't care about it, I'd rather not be doing it. I'd rather leave someone else represent the country the way that it's supposed to be represented. I went to short course Worlds, and I was in the first score room, and I had not a little bit of emotion in me in terms of like, oh, let's do this. Like, this is it. I trained for this. I was just like, you know what? Being at home right now with my dog, it will feel even better. I just didn't have the anger, the fire in me. So after that meet, I was like, let's take a break, because I feel like if I keep going like this, I'm going to quit pretty soon. So I took a 1.5 year break. All 22, I didn't swim. 23, I didn't swim. For 5 months, I didn't swim.
Wow.
Then I started training on my own in 2023. I qualified for Pan American Games. I go national record in the 50 fly. But then again, like I make the team, and then I'm like, but is this really what I want? Like, I was really struggling with the idea of committing to a whole idea and see it through. And I didn't go to Pan American Games that year. And then 2024 started, beginning of the year, and I'm like, this is an Olympic year. Am I going to really watch it go through, or we're going to try? I was like, I'm going to try. I'm going to train really well for this, whatever I have left of the year. And it went well. I just didn't have, it didn't happen, but I was like, I can still have it in me. I can still get better at this. And that's how I'm right now with ASP.
Got it. This is a little more like individual question, just because I feel like I've been in the same spot and I wanted to pick your brain on it. During that 2022, 2023, when you didn't swim, were you still working with swimming? Because I know you do clinics, I know you do private lessons. You're still in the pool deck all the time, right?
I'm still in pool deck. Actually, 2022, no. Most of the time, no, I was still in Auburn. I was doing the fitter and faster clinics. That's when I started with them. But I was doing the clinics maybe once a month. So not every day. Then I moved to California, and 2023 was when I started doing lessons, and I started being on deck every day. And it had a real impact in me, because I would look at swimmers and I would think about how I'm teaching swimming, and then I'll be like, but this is exactly what I got to do when I go back to the pool, you know?
Yeah. And then that's why I asked, because you're on the pool deck, it's nice weather. Sometimes you're like, oh, like I wish if I just get in and just do a couple sprints and just feel the water, right?
Yeah.
Like it kind of easily comes back, right?
And it was also the idea, like I was preaching a style of swimming and being like, dude, like your swimming looks good, but your walls are bad. If we get your walls better, you know, you're going to get half a second faster there. Your breakouts are not good right now. If you get your breakouts better, you know, you're going to have more speed on your swim. I'm like, dude, there's so many ways to get faster in swimming. How can I do that in my swimming? You know, how can I apply what I'm teaching to them to myself and see the results from it? So it wasn't just the idea of being close to the water and missing the water. It was the idea of like how I'm thinking, teaching swimming. Can I swim with that same brain and see if I can actually do what I'm telling these guys or what I'm teaching to the swimmers? Can I actually train with the same idea, same purpose? And I think the biggest accomplishment that year was that I did it. I trained under the same philosophy that I teach, and I went best times.
Wow.
So that was kind of like, it felt good because I was like, okay, what I'm teaching also, it works.
Yeah. So when you were training by yourself, you said you had some help from Brett. How did you come up with the workouts? Was that something that you kind of like researched? Like, okay, I need to do speed endurance, I need to go power, or it was more of like a feeling like, I feel like I'm needing a little more
I feel
back
like
end speed or
I think it was more feeling. Brett sent me his he was doing like monthly workouts with Sprint Revolution, and he would send me those, and I used them as reference.
Yeah,
I
templates.
didn't do them all. I would just use them as reference, being like, okay, I like this set. I don't like this for spars, so let me combine these two. Or yesterday is fast, but honestly, I feel like I feel like going slow and work on technique today. So let's do that, and let's leave this one for tomorrow. So I wouldn't do, okay, day one, this one, day two, this one, day three, this one. No, I would mix and whatever I felt that day. Some days I would go to the pool. It's hard because you play with your motivation, and motivation is not always there. If you show up to the pool and be like, I don't feel like doing it, but you still gotta do it. There's also something that you gain from doing things that you don't want to do. That's a total other part of training. But in terms of like, okay, no, what I'm looking for is to build a stroke and be like, okay, today I'm sore from the gym yesterday still. Let's rest one more day and come back tomorrow. So yeah, I will go through my aerobic sets. I will go through my technique. Most of it was front end speed. Most of it front end speed. A lot of resistant work. I didn't time myself at all. I didn't work with the clock. I did not watch any times. I was just doing efforts. Very little back end speed, but some. And no, it was mostly by feeling. What I felt like I needed. But it's hard. It's hard because I have an experience in swimming that allows me to do that. It's not as easy as to say, hey, just feel whatever you feel that day in the water. And if I only had 30 minutes, I wanted to make those 30 minutes count and not let the idea of like, it's just 30 minutes. I'm not going to do much in 30 minutes. No, I can still do a lot with 30 minutes. And I felt like that was the exciting thing about this new version, because I don't need to be in the pool for that long. Something that I don't like and I get PTSD for is to be in the pool, in the water for 2 hours.
Yeah. How did you gain confidence through that? Because we talked to Marina yesterday, and she said she's a little bit of like the opposite. She comes from a background where she swam so much that she still sometimes feel that lack of confidence that like, is this the only thing we're doing? But now like she's seeing it through, right? She's going best times, and she's like more confident. Did you trust it right away, or did it take you some time?
Right, because I understand that, because the confidence, once you get the results, the confidence starts to be like, oh, okay, it works. Yeah. I guess at the moment for me, I didn't have that. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be, but no, I was in a moment that I was reading a lot. I was reading The Secret. I was reading The Power of the Mind, like things that allow me to kind of like manifest what I was doing in the water. I allow myself the possibility of be like, I remember one of my big words, mantras that I would say to myself, like, be open to the idea of doing something extraordinary, right? Just don't put any time in your mind. Just be open to the idea that something very special is going to happen out of this. I did start working with a mental coach back then. In that process, I reached out. I realized that as I was training in the water and I was doing well in the water, I needed to do the same type of training with my mind. And I think that's the answer to your question, Shao. Where does that my confidence come from? From a lot of self-talking to myself, but working with someone else on it. Because I understood that I was doing something that I was never done before. And it's hard to trust or to have that confidence in it if you know that before you were doing 11 sessions a week and now we're only doing 5. How do I know that this is going to work? But yeah, I chose to believe. I chose to be like, this is what I actually need, and then just manifest it in a way that I will swim fast under this. And it's not like it came right away. I feel like this, for example, this meet that I had with US Open, it was pretty quick. Like in just 3 months of training, I went really almost best, some best times and some almost best times. When I was doing it last year, my first meet after 3 months of training, I was very slow. But the idea, I was like, it's okay. It's just the first month. It's just the first meet.
Yeah.
Then the next meet, I'll drop another second. And the next meet, I'll drop another second. I think it was more like coming from like that. I'm believing in this. I'm gonna see this through, but not from prior experience in it.
Interesting. I wrote that down, dude. Be open to the idea of doing something extraordinary.
I tell myself that every time I look at, and you get in your head before the race. You get in your head, you're like, how is it gonna go? Is it gonna go well? Is it gonna go this time? Hey, dude, just be open. Be open to the idea that this is gonna be extraordinary, and that just already gives you goosebumps and be like, okay, this might be good.
I love that. I love that. So what? Going to that a little deeper. So then, what's your mentality like when you approach race day? And let's say you were just at the U.S. Open, you're behind the blocks for the 50 free. How do you get into the right mindset that's going to prepare you to step up onto those blocks and do something extraordinary?
This meet, it's been the first meet in more than a year, because the meets that I had this summer, I don't really count them as me really being there in the competitive way. I was just hanging out with the team at that point. I was just training, but racing for fun. This was the first time in a month, more than a year, that I was like, I'm competing against these guys. And I had emotions and feelings that I haven't had in a while. I would say the prelims and finals is a totally different feeling. Prelims is more like I know that for me to qualify for finals is I need to do a great swim in my great swim. I don't care about anyone else in prelims. I really work on executing a good swim for myself. So I don't have much of that competitiveness in prelims, as like I care much about racing these other guys. I care about myself executing a good race, and that will put me in the finals. Now finals, it was different. You show up to the pool and you're racing these guys. Like, it's not just like, let's see how fast I can go. No one really matters most of the time how fast you go. You want to put the hands first. And especially at this meet, that the first race I don't even make finals. I was upset. I remember telling Sean, I didn't come to Austin to be 20th here. Like, I'm upset. But I let that anger and fire kind of like feed me into the next races. The 100 fly, I'm making finals on this, and I got 9th. I just missed the A final, and that was also upsetting. But I like that bothering means that I still care about this, and that's why I say when I stop swimming, I wouldn't care about that. I'll be like, I'm just here. But the fact that I care, the fact that I'm like, I'm upset about it, I'm like, okay, that's good. That's me being competitive. And then the 50 fly, I made the A finals, and the way that I like to do it is like I have my girlfriend. She's also an Olympian. She sent me these YouTube short videos. For example, the lion's mentality. Oh, I love those things. I would just start stretching. Get to the pool, start stretching, and start listening how the lion is, and the lion is there to hunt. You're not a gazelle, and I love that, and I just start feeling like to get myself hyped up into the idea, that I'm a lion. I'm there to hunt. I like to, when I step behind the blocks, one of my rituals is I'll look at the stands, and I see my family. I'm a performer. I like to perform, and I like to perform with a crowd. I like to perform with a crowd. And for me, my family, I was growing up, I did, but most of my career, I didn't have my family in the stands. But it's something that I noticed that I can do on my own. I can look at the stands, imagine them one by one, and that already gives me goosebumps. Me like, oh, they're there, they're watching, and they're not just watching. They're chanting. They're there for me, and that it puts me in like, okay, let's see how fast I can go there and back. So that's how I use it. I have my dog tattoo on my leg, and it's for a specific reason. I am not the type of person that likes to be super in it and like super serious. I like to be relaxed because I know that, dude, I trained for this. I just need to let it out. and I need to be confident of my skills, of my abilities. I just need to let it out. And for me, I do that when I'm relaxed. So I like to look at my dog. I think about my dog and be like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care if I go first, fast, record, world record, nothing. He's just still gonna be there for me, and that makes me happy. So, dude, it's just a race, just a race. So yeah, I have those little talks with myself throughout the meet and finals to remind myself that, you know, it's just a race, to remind myself that I'm a lion and I'm there to eat, but at the same time to like soak in the moment. Like this is what I trained for. I wanna feel everything before the race.
Yeah. I love that. So I'm very present.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah,
like,
being present, I guess.
You ever watch any Messi highlights or?
No, actually, no, I don't.
I used to watch like Ronaldinho like highlights
Really?
before swimming. My friends be like, "Why are you watching soccer?" I'm like, "It's not about the soccer or not.
It's
just
not about
like
it.
it's like you said, it's like being loose and like if you know soccer, you know Ronaldinho. Like to me, like the best to ever do it, just so loose, just having fun, and like that's kind of like the mentality that I would put myself. It's just like, yeah, man, we're here to have fun and just and do great things. But dude, that's awesome. Tell us a little about your online business. I know you have like an online, like, is it clinics, online courses?
So yeah, right now it's a bunch of things. This started in after college. I will give you a little bit of the story. This started after college. After doing a couple of clinics, I was like, I think that what we're teaching in these clinics is actually very valuable information for swimmers. I can see how in one weekend these swimmers are changing some stuff and it's helping them. I was like, how can I do this in Argentina? Because I'm not going to move to Argentina. So I always like technology. I always like YouTube, the video part of things. And I was like, what if I record everything that I do in one clinic? I record it. I do it with videos. So when I'm explaining you one exercise, I'm also showing you the exercise. And when I say, hey, you don't want to do this with your arm when you swim freestyle, I'll show you that. And I make a whole course on these different strokes and different things. And that's what I did in 2022. I got a camera. I went to the pool. A lot of writing down ideas, drills, and I started recording. I created 6 hours of online courses with drills, exercises, explanations that I was doing at that time. And that's how I kind of like got into teaching with the online courses. Then I started, when I moved to California, I started doing a lot more private lessons, swim clinics on my own here in California. And right now I just created a community for Spanish community with my brand. Basically, my goal is to have a resource for people that like swimming in any level to go to and learn something that will actually help them. We are in the information era. You actually don't need to go to many places to learn. You can just do it from your computer. In YouTube, we have a lot of resources. And I was like, how is it that, yes, there is people teaching you swimming, but not to put myself as for example, Nadal. Nadal is much, much better athlete than me. But if you have a really good athlete teaching you the sport, it has some more value than just a coach teaching you the sport.
Yeah.
And I always also say, like, I'm not teaching the swimming part. I'm not teaching you the work. I'm not doing workouts. I'm teaching you technique. And then technique is something that I know, something that to this day, I go to the pool and I still do it. So yeah, over the past 3 years, I had kind of like, I released courses, but I also have done so many lessons that I have new exercises. So I am in this moment trying to see how I can put everything together. Like I have my private lessons and clinics in person here, but I want to have a Spanish online content with a community. I started to do online clinics. Just imagine like this, but instead of just us three, we have 20 more people, and I have a presentation, and I just do exactly the same thing that I do in a clinic without the part of me jumping in the water and doing it for you. But I will put videos and I will show you the videos, and then I will give you all the resources. And the idea is for you to become more educated in like, what is it that we actually need to try to look for when you go to swim. So yeah, I've been really into it. I have it's a tough relationship with social media. I know you have to be in it, and I know that when I'm in it, my social media grows. It's been growing lately, but we gotta be disciplined. I have a discipline. I'm disciplined in swimming. I know how to get up and go to the pool and do my workouts. I'm still learning how to be disciplined with my work, with my projects. It's different. It's different. I don't have a coach or a boss telling me or expecting deadlines from me, like telling me what to do. So sometimes I do a little bit more than other days. But yeah, the project is to kind of like to put everything that I've learned in this past 20 years of swimming from so many coaches, so many swimmers, because the truth is none of this is mine. I've done clinics with Olympic medalists. I've trained with really great coaches, and I learned from them. So yeah, this is me putting everything that I learned in out there for people to learn.
Are you still in the system in Argentina? Like, do you still have to go back and compete there, or as far as getting cuts and stuff, can you do it here and still compete for them?
So yeah, right after this media US Open, the national head coach texted me. We have South American Games next year, and I asked him. I say, yeah, usually for people that live abroad, we can pick a meet the same month then they have the trials going on, and we use it to qualify. So yeah, fortunately for me, I can do that here. I don't need to travel to Argentina to race to qualify for different meets. I can just pick a meet here, and then I use it for my trials.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yes.
Where is South American Championships?
It's actually going to be in Santa Fe. That's where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
It's Santa Fe. I don't think the same city. It might be a city that's 2 hours away from me, but it's the same state. Yeah. So yeah, it's at home. It's at home. So I will be there. I will be there.
Nice.
Do you,
South Americans?
Santi, do you feel, this is a question I had earlier, but definitely want to ask it before we wrap up. Do you feel a responsibility to sort of like the Argentinian swim community being, one of the kind of main, maybe like representations of what it's like to kind of be a professional swimmer and make that work? Like, is there a level of responsibility you feel?
I don't know if responsibility is the word that I would use, because responsibility sounds like it's expected from me, or if it's like it's my duty. But I do feel a sense of opportunity that comes, that I could have an impact. I could have an impact in the swimming community for sure. I do feel I am in a moment of my life with so many years of swimming behind my back and with accomplishment. I know that as me growing up, I look into Milan's because he was the best swimmer in Argentina. I know that now that kids that start swimming and start looking around, well, my name is going to come up as one of the swimmers that is still swimming. Is probably one of the oldest on the men's side. So I don't take that lightly. I feel like I don't want to just inspire young swimmers just by going to a swim meet and winning. That's one way. I want to also have an impact in these people learning from me in terms of like offering them resources that could make their experience in the water better. Not because what I have is super special and better than everyone else. It's just because it comes from a place of like, hey, like I know what you're feeling right now when you're doing this. If you just think about this and pay attention for it and it will change the way you and then combine that knowledge with your coach and try to be like, hey, we're looking for this. We're working on this. I keep learning every single day that I do a clinic. Every single swimmer is different. You have to something that works with one swimmer doesn't work with another swimmer. But yeah, I feel a sense of opportunity that I have, and that I want to be able to change and improve the Argentinian swim community. Because we are a sport that are good at various sports, lots of sports. We can be good at swimming too. We can be very good at swimming too.
Do you guys have to get the A cut or?
Yes. Yes.
A cut.
It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick.
It's gonna be quick this year.
But,
What's
yeah.
the 50s selection process? You have to go to the World Cup, right?
So the year before you got a world, you have to go to worlds, and you have to be top 6. Now I don't know if it's for points, for times. I don't know if you know, because World Cups you have different stops. So what does that mean? We go to the first stop and I go 22-1, but then I don't go to the other 2 stops. Does that mean that I didn't make enough points? I don't make it top 6. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm so confused because I was thinking like, so only 6 people can sign up for the 50,
So,
and then they're gonna
well,
have
only 6
like,
people will qualify just for the 50s. So if they want you to, if you want to qualify for the 50s fly, you have to go to World Cups,
oh,
and you have to win and be top 6 in those World Cups.
but
And
if
then
you're
you
there
qualify
for the
top 50s.
100 and your country doesn't have anyone, then maybe you can do the 50 as well. Something like that.
But if you qualify for the 50, for the 100, if you qualify for the 100 and you don't have anyone in the 50, you will be able to probably swim the 50 if you have the time that they put there, that the easy times, because those are easy times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to the hundreds and the other strokes.
Yeah.
So yeah, to go for a 50 strokes, you have to be top 6 at the World Cups the year before. If you didn't make top 6,
now.
Well,
you have to look into qualifying with another stroke. So for me, it's gonna be 21:69 and 51:07. Which,
Quick.
hey, yeah, it's quick, but that's the time we gotta go. So it's gonna sound very, very cool to say,
Gotta
hey,
do it.
I go 50 point in the 100 fly.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's right up the road from you, so.
Oh, exactly. It's actually here. It's actually here. It's actually here.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I missed Paris, and the feeling I had, I hated watching it on TV. I don't like watch things. I don't like to go to finals, like even at US Open, the finals for the 53 and the A finals for the 100 fly. My ego, it hurts. It hurts my ego just to be watching the swim that I know I should have been there, but I wanted to be in. And the Olympics was that. Just watching it at home, I just didn't enjoy it. I hope one day I will watch and be like, oh, that looks great, but it has to be after I retired, because if not, I'll be like, I could have been there. I wanted to be there. So yeah, it's not gonna happen in LA. We're gonna be there.
Absolutely. We're rooting for you. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll come train with you again so you can. I'll give you some tips.
Please. And I also think that we have something so special. For me, it's like the environment that I am in right now. You know, I talk at the beginning saying, like, depending who you surround with, it's kind of like what level you're going to have. If you surround with mediocre people, you're going to be mediocre. I am surrounded with a lot of excellent guys here right now at this club, at this team. People that are actually faster than me, that make me feel very frustrated sometimes. It's just because I want to be as fast as them, but that's what I need. That's what a place that I want to be if I want to keep growing. So yeah, we have something very special with ASP. Sean, the way that he's taking care of us and the way that he's constantly looking to keep learning and keep providing to us the best possible training environment. It's we owe him a lot by him putting together this team.
Off of that, we're going to wrap up with our last few questions, Santi. So at this point, right, you've gone through a career in swimming, you've seen it at various levels, and my question to you is, what does swimming smart mean to you?
For me, it means that when you go to the pool, you pay attention to what you are actually doing with your body when you're swimming. I always think of like walking. When we walk, you're not thinking about how you step in, how you breathe in, how you're moving your hands, coordination with your feet. It's something we do pretty natural. If you don't walk well, it's gonna be pretty obvious. Something's gonna be off. In swimming, it's even more important. And if you should move your body the same way that you should walk, just in an autopilot mode, most likely something's going to be off that's not going to allow you to be efficient, that it might injure you, because definitely this movement is not a movement to do. It's not normal for the human body to do this 100 times every single day. So you will not be efficient. That means you're going to be fighting the water, and you're going to maybe injure yourself. So swim smart means like, hey, when you're in the pool, you have to have a knowledge of like, what is it that you should try to think of, like look for in the water, but just try to be aware of your body. Like you should be aware if your body crosses when you're catching water, if when you're recovering, you are swinging your arm around, or if you're using your legs or not using your legs. And from that little awareness, you should build into it. You're like, okay, today I'm just going to try to use my legs at the same time that I'm using my arms. And let's see if I can do that. Well, that's been you being smart. So yes, being aware, be aware when you're swimming, not just autopilot. And that's how you actually, in my opinion, how you will get better. You will identify things that you're like, I don't feel this catch right now. I don't feel it, or I do feel it that it's going out. Okay, perfect. Now you're feeling it. Let's try to keep it there. Don't let it go out. So yeah, it comes with the awareness, in my opinion.
Yeah. How much, in your opinion, should your brain be activated in that way when you swim versus you actually want to turn it off?
I think training, in my practices, I try to be 100% all the time, 100% all the time, aware and on, because that's when I'm building those muscular connections, these neuromuscular connections, those connections that then when I go to race, that's when I kind of like don't want to think about, because there's no time to think about it. It's time to put effort behind a stroke, but I need to make sure that that stroke is done in a proper way. And for me to be able to do it in a proper way, I have to have done it so many times in proper way for me to build that habit kind of way. And that you do in practice. So I always say to my swimmers, like when you go to school, you're sitting in your bench, you listen to the teacher for 45 minutes, and then after a long day of school, you're exhausted. You didn't move, but you're exhausted. Why? Because the brain is a muscle that you're exercising when you're paying attention. After a certain time, you need to take a break. Well, imagine when you go to the pool then. You're using not just your brain, but you're also using your body. So the effort is double. Of course, so it's like, it's a 2-hour session where we're not using the brain better than a 1-hour session where we are actually using the brain for a whole hour? Or is that 1.5 hours better than a 45 minutes? So I think that reducing the amount of time allows us to stay focused for longer. Because for me, it's not possible to stay focused for 2 hours of practice. It's not possible. So and then when you practice is when you build your technique. It's when you build in those same patterns that you're then hoping to use when you do a race. So I would say 100% of the time you should be using your brain when you're training. And then when you're racing, you should try to practice not using your brain, because you already practice it. If you're doing a 50-free thinking about everything, you're not going as fast as you can.
Yeah. That's what Marina said yesterday. She said she likes to swim dumb, like at a swim meet.
Yes.
Like swimming dumb, like don't think, like just
don't think. Well, I mean, she's, at a meet it's the moment that you're not going to change your technique because you're thinking about it. The moment it happens when you go fast, it's going to happen the same way that you've trained for 3 months.
Yeah.
I do think there's things that are still, like for me, I mean, my stuff, using my arms in my dive, pushing through with them, pushing through. I've done my whole life this, just not pushing through, but just bringing hands forward. So for me now, if this meet, to be able to use my hands, the last thought in the blog was like, okay, push through, right? I have to be aware of it. Yeah, because I know that in the autopilot, they say go, and I do this, you know? So there are things for sure that is not like, okay, I guess for the Olympics, yes, I want to stay behind that block and have no doubt about what my body's going to do and just let it do it. But now it's like we're back in training. Like this meet is training for us with the first meet of the season. So how many dolphin kicks I do for my underwaters? I haven't counted kicks in a while, and I missed a couple breakouts at this meet because I haven't done enough dolphin kicks. I need to do one more, but I'm not counting them. So yeah, I think it's important to train the way you want to race, and then go to race without using your brain, because you need to go fast. That's the thing. You need to go fast.
Yeah. All right, Santi, last question. Are you a fan of a get out swim?
Oh,
and if so,
yes.
do you have a favorite get out swim story from your time as a swimmer?
I actually have one. Very proud of it. New coaching staff show up to Auburn, so it was that moment that they're kind of like seeing what everyone is capable of, and they gave us a get out swim. It wasn't to everyone. I know that I did it with someone else next to me. I think it was one guy and one girl. That's how it was. One guy and one girl. They made us do a get out swim, and I pushed a 4900 butterfly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like very, very happy about that. Very happy that that was the first impression of the coach of me, and I got the team out of that day, that practice.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love get out swims.
4900 fly is good too, man.
Yeah, that was good. That's good.
Speaking of your new coaching staff at Auburn, we just had Gina last week, actually. So she was one of the coaches, right? The new coaching staff for you
at ASP.
No, at Auburn.
Auburn.
Gina Janet. Yes.
No, Gina. Yeah. So Gina was at LSU. Gina Kempe.
LSU.
She was at
Kempe. Yeah.
She was at LSU before, and then she went to Auburn.
That's true. That's
when
true.
You say coaching staff, that's who went.
She was one of them. She's at LSU again, or where is she?
No, she was at LSU, and then she went to Auburn. She's a head coach at Illinois now, but we had her on the podcast last week. So.
Oh, nice. Yes.
I know she coached you as well. Sweet.
She was there.
Santi, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. We have so much great stuff here. I think this is the longest we've gone, and it's so easy. You're like, I feel like just coming into practice with you the other day, I felt like a very good connection, just because Argentina, Brazil, we grew up like kind of like swimming around the same area, and swimming in the SEC as well. But I think like a lot of your mentality, like it's very similar to the way I think, and we're excited to see you swimming fast and ASP growing. We told Sean we want to get an episode where we go a little more in depth with all of you guys. Probably would be cool to talk about the projects that you guys are starting, like clinics, private lessons, and all of that. But dude, thank you so much.
Thank you
again. Just amazing stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Where can we find you? Your online platform, your Instagram. Give us everything.
So right now is Santi Grassi is my Instagram, and then if you speak Spanish, dentro del agua.com is my website. There's also an Instagram for that. And if you speak English and you want some lessons, clinics, catchingwater.us is our website. And I wanted to say, thank you guys. Also, thank you for doing this. I think that part of our sport growing is by people like you putting content out there, grabbing swimmers like me, putting them on a podcast, so then other swimmers that are getting into the sport can listen. Hopefully we can help someone, a young swimmer that is going through some of the things that we went through, and give them a little bit of a light in their journey. But I think it's also needed for our sports to keep growing. So I appreciate what you guys do.
Awesome.
Absolutely.